Hello, my friends. I love spending time with you. And I wanted to continue the conversation about celebrating and growing within us the divine masculine. For indeed, all of us have divine masculine and feminine within us, regardless of how we identify. And one of the positive things about divine masculine energy is that desire to be the best person that we can be, that godlike power to be able to evolve, to improve. But in order to do this, I just wanted to share some thoughts and some tips that hopefully will help you along the way. The first thing I want to really focus on is what it is not. And typically when someone says, oh, I want to be the best person I can be, knee-jerk reaction is to fall back to some standards that are either outdated or someone else's vision about who they think you should be or how your life should be run. Please take time to sit down with yourselves. And if you do choose standards, make sure that they are your own, that they're not someone else's imposition or vision or even old, outdated thoughts and values that are controlling your life and not really making a positive impact. The second thing that it is not is this idea of perfectionism, okay, that you can never make a mistake. So realize, as cliche as it might sound, it's true. You are perfect in your imperfection, as am I. It is, for us in the native way, what you consider imperfections, those areas that you are not strong that allow for there to be openness for someone else to connect. So the divine masculine, the power of the gods, does not shy away from that reaching out and welcoming someone reaching back. I would say, in addition to that, moving forward, what's really critical for being your best self is simply just being honest about your personality, being honest about your strengths and your weaknesses, and being able to embrace that within you. And what I mean by embracing is just that acceptance. It doesn't mean that you leave it there. It doesn't mean that I want to cut away your motivation, because after all, the topic is becoming your best self, being able to grow and to evolve. But when you allow yourself to be you, maybe you're an introvert, maybe you're an extrovert, maybe you're like me, an ambivert, right? And you sit down and say, okay, this is me. This is me, this is my personality, this is what I need, this is the way that I connect. The more that you understand yourself, the better you can express to others what you need, the better you can even identify the types of people and activities that will help to fulfill you, to share, and to help you to grow. So it's very, very important. I know a lot of people do not like sitting down and looking at themselves. It's as uncomfortable for them as hearing a recording of their own voice. And it's fine. That is normal in the beginning. But as you get comfortable checking in with yourself, as you become comfortable with understanding your self-perceptions, and in turn being able to express yourself, then you can see through other people, once you express yourself, that they can come more into alignment. So realize when you're doing this, you're not asking for permission, you're not justifying yourself or what have you. It's also good for checking in. This is my self-perception, being aware of how other people perceive you. And if there's some misalignment, you're able to express, hey, how did you come to that idea? And in turn, the more that you say, this is who I am, this is what I need, that becomes less and less. You become comfortable in your own skin more and more. People feel that from you, that sense of being comfortable, of being confident with who and what you are. And in turn, they feel more relaxed with you. They feel that invitation that they can be that themselves. So moving forward from that, I also wanted to say that that feeling of being comfortable is something that this society doesn't welcome, in the sense of typically work cultures or dominant societies, where they try to give the idea that somehow that this toxic idea of masculinity is being a machine. Stony-faced, nothing can touch your heart, you're tireless, You can just keep on going and going without any needs. Ugh. So unreal, so unhealthy, and creates nothing but burnout and resentment and sorrow. So part of being your best self, of embodying this part of the divine masculine, is where you embrace your humanity. There's only so much energy you have in a day, and that can change from day to day. There is the needs that you have, the basic needs, even just basic needs of rest, basic needs of nourishment, body, mind, and spirit. And in turn, when you allow for your humanity the need to laugh, the need to play, so when you go forward in that idea of your humanity, it makes things so much simpler. It keeps it real. It gives people I'm going to say, not only the permission for them to also be human, but it also emphasizes that you are a person. You are an individual with needs. You are an individual that feels and has expressions just like they do, that you have the need for basic essentials and laughter and joy and feeling of purpose, just like they do. And as you begin to move forward with that humanity, goes into my next area of being your best self, which is learning to express yourself. And it has many forms. Sometimes the best way of expressing yourself is not, just going away and recharging your batteries for a little bit, letting the world spin on its own for a little while without you. And then there'll be times that you'll step out into the world. And it could be through art, it could be through talking, it could be just through, sometimes I just like sitting in a park and just drinking in nature and just observing people and the animals. So the more that you learn to express yourself, and I mean so mindfully, so in other words, if you're having a bad day, and we all have a bad day, you have the right to express that too. Again, this is not the idea of everything's perfect all the time. Either A, give people fair warning, and or B, which is usually the better option, being able to release that in a way that you can release those tensions, whatever is going on, without causing cleanup in aisle 4. So, but when you do that, have that expression. The joy could be through sports, it could be through art, it could be through anything at all. Then you go forward, and there's a joy in that. There's a joy of discovery, at least having a direction that you can go in, whether it be in finding relationships or going forward in your career, whatever it is, growing your spirituality. And in turn, as you are mindful with how you're expressing yourself, because again, the divine masculine is not one of just hitting somebody with a hammer. This is me, bang. Again, it's that toxic thing. It's going forward as yourself, but also with that mindfulness, that awareness, self-awareness, awareness of others, so that there is balance of your expression without crushing that of somebody else, and good boundaries so that as they express themselves, you are also not shadowed upon. Final note that I would like to say about being your best self is in relation to all of this, is it's good to have your goals. Again, that drive and strive that comes from the divine masculine force. But I want you to remember something. As you go on this beautiful, lifelong quest, remember that you are not your flaws. You're not even your goals. These are expressions of you. You are beyond these things. So when you are discovering your best self, realize that everything that we're talking about are extensions, they're expressions. The reason why I say that is, life has its twists and turns. There'll be times where you are thinking you're zigging and life will zag you this way. And there can be this idea that you failed at a project, or you feel that you failed at a relationship, what have you. We all have that. And that this is who you are. Or if you're battling something, because we all are fighting our own battles of some sort or another, you are not your battles. You are not your goals. You are not your flaws. you are beyond all of these things. You are a beautiful soul. You are an individual. And once you realize that all of these things help for you to grow to be the best person you can be, but they are not who you are. They help to interact with you so that you can grow, that you can evolve. Then you can own who and what you are with, I'm going to say, the proper attachment. Because if you do something for good or for bad, own what's yours. That is also very important for a mature soul and for evolving spiritually. But don't get hung up. Don't get hung up. I guess for me, one of the major things that I learned during when I had my cancer journey, and all these things I thought that were me, the things that I could do that I suddenly couldn't. You know, the long black hair I used to have, and I was bald as an egg, and again, accepting who I am now. All of these things were taken away from me. And it really brought me down to who was I? You know, what did this mean? And that's why I'm sharing that with you, that knowledge, I've lived it. And the good news that all of these things are expressions of you, they're extensions of you, but you are so much more and beyond these things. And just day by day, this is a journey. And the beautiful thing about this journey is it just carries on. There's always discovery. There's another thing about you that to learn. There's another thing about you to share. There's another thing about you to grow. And the world is so beautiful and big, and you're helping to shape part of it. You're a part of it. It is a part of you. So that's what I wanted to say. The divine masculine, again, is that proactive, dynamic force, that desire to be the best, not because of ego, you know, not because of insecurities, but to be like the sun, to shine, to shed light, to shed warmth, to shed strength and inspiration. And at times, to allow others to shine so that you can also bask in the sun as well. So until the next time that we have the pleasure of being together, I cannot wait. And I would say to you, if you found this video useful, please drop it a like. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. And if ever you feel the need for me to guide you, I do private sessions. You can go to my website, eagleskyfire.com, or contact me on Instagram. And I'll be happy to set up a session with you to help you so that guide you to be the best person you can be, you know, through reading or even through mentorship, you know, private mentorship. So please, I hope you enjoy this beautiful, glorious day, or perhaps wherever you are, it might be nighttime. But I wish for you beauty, peace, and bright blessings. Wanishi, until we spend time together again. See you then.